do that. Turn off my fan. Sorry. So it's not annoying and in your face. Good evening, Craig. How are you doing, Craig? That's great. I'm glad. You never know how close I should be. Welcome back to the Believe You Know podcast. You know, how's everyone doing on this fine evening? Fine Monday. Wasn't able to do anything yesterday. I was Sunday. Oh my gosh, I felt so. I don't know what happened. Believe I was no, not Sunday, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. It was just dehydrated. I don't know what happened, bro. It was awful. Yeah, wasn't feeling the best. So, and then yesterday, tired as balls. So didn't want to do anything really. Wanted to some sleepage. So we're back here tonight. I was also finishing up Dino Crisis, which essentially I'm going to talk about. But yeah, hope everyone is doing well. But yeah, I finished Dino Crisis on PC yesterday. Kiwi watched me finish it up. So essentially, I just wanted to talk about it. Obviously, this is a very old game. Came out in 1999. I beat it a couple of times, but this is a game that I've been harping on Capcom for honestly a couple years in our Discord and on Twitter or X, whatever, to remake. This essentially is Resident Evil with dinosaurs. So, Capcom was talking about their earnings calls. I think the other day, they just ended their fiscal year back in the end of March. And for 10 years in a row, they have had record-breaking profits. And it's been more and more every single year for 10 years. And the start of that, if you go back to 2017, essentially, it was when Resident Evil 7 came out. And it was essentially them going back to their roots for Resident Evil. Because obviously they got off the rails with 5 and 6. And, no one exactly liked it. So they came out with 7, went back to the horror and everything, and it done well. And then 8 came out. I think it done pretty good. And then 9 came out. Requiem came out, a couple months ago, and it's been awesome. So, shout out to Capcom. They've been killing it last decade, essentially, in a world of video game that just is so uncertain at this point. Capcom has been pretty steady, and they have I say unfortunately, but I know they're known for Resident Evil, and Monster Hunter, and I think Resistance. They've been trying other things. So Capcom games that have came out in the past decade. And obviously you have Street Fighter, that's one of their bigger ones. Dragon's Dogma, I think it was a pretty big hit. They have a catalog of Mega Man. I know the new one that they're trying to make is coming out next year. So, but since they went back to Resident Evil, the horror, and then they started to remake the older ones, like the original one, and then Resident Evil 2, which is a phenomenal remake and basically set the standard for remakes moving forward for any Honestly, anyone, any company. You had Resident Evil 3 remake. It was kind of shit, but it was okay. And then, remaking, I wouldn't say remaking, but like revitalizing RE4, and that done amazing. Um, and then they have Pragmata this year, which has done pretty well. They'll have Onimusha later this year. But the biggest one, was Resident Evil 9 Requiem. So to bring up all that, because of how well the Resident Evil remakes have been doing, like I said, 2 done phenomenal. 3 was okay. It kind of got the shit end of the stick, honestly, because it got like the B or the C team put on it. Because I think they were working on 8 at the time during that. So like the other people got put on that project. It's unfortunate because Resident Evil 3 is my favorite. So, but all that to be said, I don't understand why they haven't wanted to go back to Dino Crisis. After completing it, like it took me about 5 or 6 hours, which I realize is a very short game, even for 1999. But so are Resident Evil games. Like Resident Evil 9, it can easily take anywhere from 10 to 15, if not 20 hours your first playthrough if you explore everything and whatnot. But then the replayability, people are beating it within a couple hours, if not shorter than that. I haven't checked lately. So what I was telling Kiwi is, if they were to remake Dino Crisis, and I think this may possibly be a reason of why they haven't tried yet. Or maybe they just don't want to. They tried a couple years back with stupid Exoprimal and it was a failure. Regardless if they want to admit or not admit, it was a failure. It was awful. It sucked donkey dick. But they would have to remake the game and like add a bunch of stuff to it. Because the only reason it kind of makes the game 5 or 6 hours for your first playthrough, and if you're not even like looking up things, some of the puzzles can be a little complicated, but it's the instance based like it was back in the day where you go up to a door and then open it and go in. I know it's pretty quick, at least on PC. Back in the day on a PlayStation, it would have took actual legit seconds, 30 seconds maybe. But now on the PC, it's I would say less than 5 seconds every single time. So essentially, we'd have to rebuild the game, add a lot to it. I think they would have to keep the puzzles. The puzzles are fun. I like them more than I do the Resident Evil ones, and just pushing the statue and things like that. So, voice acting, since it is a Capcom game, they need to keep the cheesy one-liners and things like that because it's pretty cheesy. So, but yeah, I think they should absolutely explore trying to remake Dino Crisis 1 at least, and then see the sales on it, and then try for 2. I would prefer 2, but that doesn't make sense if they just made 2 instead of 1. I never played 3, but I heard that's kind of where it ran off the rails. I don't understand why Capcom has a history of this, of their games just like slowly getting weirder and weirder and weirder and away from what the original games were. So hopefully, like with Resident Evil now, 7, 8, and 9, they have what they need to, the formula, I guess you would say, and it's moving forward, they can stick with it and not go too far out, outside of that. But yeah, I think they should remake 1, see how it does, and it can't cost that much money. And then do two. Two is just so much, I think, better because it was like action, a lot more action. And like I was telling Kiwi, I think there's literally 5 dinosaurs in 5 or 6 in the first Dino Crisis. So you got, spoiler alert, for a was this a 27-year-old game? You have Raptor and a second Raptor, Pterodactyl, Pompies, a Brute dinosaur. I don't even know what kind of dinosaur it is, and the T-Rex. So 6. Sorry, they have 6 dinosaurs. I think there's more in the second one. But when I first booted up that game, booted up Dino Crisis, I forgot how bad the tank controls were. It's awful. When you're trying to run away from the dinosaurs and they can just leap on your ass, it's awful. And then I don't even know the actual button because it doesn't pop up, and maybe it did in the original actual like PlayStation game. But like when a dinosaur starts and puts you on the ground and starts like waving you around, biting you and shit, it just says danger, danger. And there's like no indication of what to do. But if you don't do anything, then it'll just kill you because you're bleeding. So, and that's another thing about Dino Crisis compared to Resident Evil. You don't have like a indicator of health besides your character going from standing up to bleeding, limping, and then like slowly moving, and then you just die. So it's weird. And then there's only like freaking 3 guns. You got your handgun, shotgun, and grenade launcher. So maybe they explore more guns because it's so dumb. Your 2 not companions, your comrades, I guess you would say, that you're exploring the facility with, have a freaking M4 and like it may be an AK, I'm not sure, some kind of assault rifle, and you just got a pistol. I understand it's a game, but it's like, who here sent my bitch ass to this facility that I know nothing about with just a pistol, and then they gave my teammates essentially big ass guns? Like, who am I gonna help? What? That's so dumb. Video game logic. So, but yeah, I ended up beating it. I definitely had to look up a guide to remember what to do on certain areas. Even some of the puzzles was pretty complicated. Ooh, shit, excuse me. I actually have a video game journal, and this is the most I've, out of all the games I've been writing down stuff for, this is the most that I've written things down for. Like, where was this body? What did you need to do? What was the code? What was the password? Where did I pick up this item? And everything like that. And I didn't even write down probably half of what needs to be written down if you actually follow the guide and stuff. So it's pretty insane. The cool thing about it is there's 3 endings. Since it'll take me less and less time every time now, I'm probably gonna try to go back and get the other 2 endings. The odd thing about this version, for some reason, when Capcom released them, I guess it's the Japanese version, even though it's in English. So whenever I looked up the guide, because I was just getting lazy and didn't feel like reading some of the notes or the memos in the game, and I just maybe forgot. It's actually, holy shit! It's actually the Japanese codes instead of the English, and it was so odd because I tried one and I was like, that's the exact code, and luckily I actually read that memo for that particular code, and it was this one. So I finally get to one of the last puzzles, and I did everything that needed to be done. I watched a little video on it, and it did not work. So I was like, okay, let me try the Japanese version code, and it worked. and I was like, this is so dumb. So that was one thing. Um, oh my god, I can't quit yawning. Um, yeah, there's three in, so I want to try and go back and beat it, and then so it actually just like Resident Evil, just like Resident Evil, it has extra shit you unlock once you beat the game. Certain things like you know you get different weapons, you get unlimited ammo for certain weapons, and most of the time you get like costumes. So from the get go, it actually gave me the option to choose one of the four costumes, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time. And then it also gave you the option to do their little mini game. So I ended up looking up what you unlocked once you beat the game, and it's all those things. You get the unlimited grenade launcher if you beat it within like 3 or 5 hours or something, and it took me, according to the game clock, it took me 6. So it unlocked for me. It unlocked all the costumes already. So it's just like it's very weird that this version basically unlocked everything. You don't have to do anything. So I'm probably gonna go back and just get the other two endings. Try to run through it as quickly as I can, following the guides, just so I have it. Um, and then start on Dino Crisis 2 because that's the real one I want to play. So, um, because there's this one area on Dino Crisis 2 specifically. You're on like a boat shooting. I can't remember the names of the water. Excuse me, the water-based dinosaurs, but it's fun as shit. You get like a twin 50 cow, so it was really fun. It's more arcadey for sure, but that's where I kind of lean towards, and that's why I prefer like 3 or Resident Evil 3 and stuff. So, but yeah, Capcom is doing wonderful. I sit here and obviously want Dino Crisis remake, but they're doing wonderful things with Resident Evil. Monster Hunter, regardless if Monster Hunter Wilds didn't have the greatest start for them, is still making money. So hopefully they take into consideration that people do want Dino Crisis. It's one of the, I feel like, on the internet, one of the most asked for remakes from Capcom. So, and like I said, I know they have legendary franchises like Mega Man, and then Street Fighter, and then I think Resistance is one. If I, oh, they also have freaking Breath of Fire, bro. Oh my gosh, if I could just get Breath of Fire, I don't think Breath of Fire 3 is Breath of Fire 3 on PS5. No, it's not. Is it even on PC? You can't play it through emulators? That's some ass, dude. Why is it not even on Steam? Yeah, see, like Capcom, y'all need to pick y'all shit up. That's insane. That we don't have Dino Crisis or Breath of Fire. I mean, they obviously also have Devil May Cry. Ghosts and Goblins. Onimusha, they have Okami. So hopefully they pick it up. And then, so the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about was what's up and coming in the next, say, month or so. We're getting into the summer, and that's when a bunch of video game showcases are shown. So basically, where is it? We got, I don't know what Warhammer Skulls are. That's apparently a showcase that's coming on May 21st. So is 6-1 Indie Showcase. And then the big one, well, I would say mainstream one, is Summer Game Fest on June 5th. So, and then you got Wholesome Direct on 6th, then Future Game Showcase on June 6th as well, and then Xbox on June 7th. So, but the reason I wanted to bring up Summer Game Fest, just talking about the rumors, really. We can always hope, put our hope on for rumors and whatnot. The biggest one, obviously, for me is going to be Final Fantasy Part 3. Like, it has to be shown. It's been 2 years now since Rebirth came out, and they've been on this, like, tear. Hamaguchi has been on this tear on press release tours, just hyping this game up and saying, like, yeah, it's basically done. Because, when they started with Remake, it was just Midgar, and then when they went to Rebirth, they had already had Midgard built out, and then they just needed to build the world around it for Rebirth. So when they took Rebirth and to make whatever the third one is going to be, it's already there. They just have to unlock extra stuff. They don't have to keep rebuilding it in a sense. They just have to expand it. So, I truly hope that Part 3 is shown at Summer Game Fest. I don't know about a date. I highly doubt a date will be talked about, so that'll probably be Game Awards. But just show us something. I'm probably looking for, they'll probably show some gameplay and the title, maybe. Or maybe they'll save the title and the release date for Game Awards. Who knows? But we know it's coming. Like, they've literally, Hamaguchi said he has beaten the game 40 times already. Like, how can he already beat the game 40 times and we still, because I think it's the 30th anniversary next year, right? Yeah, 30th. So, like, and most of the time they release Final Fantasy, it seems like in the first quarter, or what they call the winter. So like February, March could be, to line up with their financials and things like that. So, because there's been a big shift in Square Enix, they're trying to push out more games, but still be quality, and they're going multi-platform, which is wonderful. I think that's great, and I hope they do that. They still haven't actually talked about what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII Part 3. Like they said, I think they wanted to do multi-platform. I just don't know if it'll release at the very beginning like that. I highly doubt it releases on Switch 2 at the start and even PC. So it'll probably just be Xbox and PlayStation, which is fine. So, but yeah, Part 3 is the biggest one for me. And then just some other like rumors is, let's see, Resident Evil Requiem DLC. We got like a small update a couple weeks back, but this one's supposed to be, maybe people are thinking that they're going to show off an actual DLC, which will be wonderful to just keep the game going. And then there's been a ton of rumors about what's the next Resident Evil remake, whether it be Resident Evil 0 or the original one, like a full-blown remake, a Veronica, or something else. But a lot of people are leaning towards Veronica. And that'd be cool. I never played Veronica. I've heard great things about it. So, and if it, it's a full-blown remake and they put love into it, I absolutely will play it. And they'll continue. And here's a Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis release date, because, they talked about, like, back-to-back Tomb Raider games. I don't give a shit about Tomb Raider, but I know a lot of people do. So that'd be cool. And then a Control Resonant launch date. That would be pretty awesome for them to show off. My guess is if they show it off in June, it's going to be like an August, September release. So, and then maybe there's some rumors about Intergalactic. It's Naughty Dog's next big game that got shown off at TGA in 2024. And they said it was a ways off. So I don't even know, because a lot of people predicted that this wouldn't even come out on the PS5. It would be PS6. So we'll see. Uh, and then there's been a lot of rumors about Witcher randomly about new Witcher 3 DLC. That's just odd because that game came out like what 10 years ago or something. Why would it just be random I don't know. That'd be cool for the people who like Witcher, and then maybe getting a Witcher 4 release window. So maybe in the next year or so we'll get it. Oh, a new Mortal Kombat game? I don't think so because I think they've already confirmed that they're not doing that. They're doing Injustice. What, 3? So a new DC fighting game. But it'd be Injustice. And this one could be a big one. Apparently, From Software, as crazy as crazy as Capcom has been on a phenomenal run, so is From Software. We're still waiting on Dustbloods to release or even get talked about for the Switch since it's an exclusive. They're still updating Night Rain for the most part. There's been rumors about another Elden Ring DLC. I don't know how they would do that. But then there's the newest one. There's apparently going to be a pirate game from Software. The placeholder the title is Cerulean Onslaught. It's a Souls game featuring pirates. That would be insane. But also, if they do that, like Capcom and From Software are just on a different level than everybody right now. So, and then probably a GTA 6 trailer just to confirm its release date and everything like that. What they're gonna do, that could be cool. What else? And then and that was off of I'll have the link for this, but this was on bbomb.com. And then I got another one off of Games Radar. Apparently they think there's either rumors or they're just looking for shot in the dark type deal. Assassin's Creed Codename Hex. I don't know what that is. Divinity. Larian showing off their gruesome trailer last year at TGA. So maybe there will be an update on that. And then Marvel's Blade. I don't think we're seeing that shit. Mass Effect 5. Don't think we're seeing that. Cyberpunk 2. Maybe. Maybe not. Elder Scrolls 6. Get a Life. That's not happening, my guy. Persona 6. Maybe. Maybe some Fable news of release date, because I don't think they've actually talked about release date. So, and then I'm sure there'll be some random ass stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, we got up and coming summer stuff, showcases and whatnot. Once they happen, I'll absolutely watch them and then do an episode on them because I want to try and keep up with video games. It's been fun playing these random things. I'm hoping Aaron or Black Hammer wants to get back into Grounded 2. I know he's loving Arc Raider still right now, which is awesome. And then for me, I think I kind of already talked about it last one, but beating Dino Crisis, gonna beat Dino Crisis 2. I actually ordered Kenna. I think I'm ready to play Kenna because I want to play the second one because it looked phenomenal. Maybe we'll get an update on Kenna at Summer Game Fest. So maybe I think I want to update on Beast of Reincarnation too from Game Freak. So yeah, gonna play Dino Crisis again, maybe. Then Dino Crisis 2, Kenna. Then they just released the final trailer for Adventures of Elliot Millennium Tales. It looks phenomenal. It's a another game for Square Enix. I am 100% going to play that. Comes out in June. I actually just downloaded the demo. It's like a prologue. So I can't wait to play that. But yeah. And then myself and Kiwi and Jordan are trying to finish up Tides at Warhammer Tides of Darkness before they get their soul sucked out by PoE 2. So lots of things happening, right now. It's fun. Gaming is fun. So just keep doing what you do. You know, give us feedback on the YouTube channel, on Spotify. Give us a like. 1 through 5 stars, preferred 5 stars. Hit us up. I think Spatchy. Is it Spatchy at 23? I don't know the Gmail. If you want to hit us up some sponsors, yeah, I'm down to take anything, even if it's like, I don't know, something weird. Maybe a Wii game. Kiwi can play it, and he can, help sponsor Kiwi so he can build me Legend of Dragoon. That'd be the dream. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Go play some Dino Crisis before bed. So remember, you can continue to believe us if you don't. Peace.